Okay, well, everybody, welcome. Good evening. My name is Alastair. I am your conference teacher for today's conference lesson, which is called Presenting Data with Impact, Techniques for Effective Presentations. Okay, well, it sounds great. Let's get started and have a look at our agenda. 4 parts to our agenda this evening: introduction, presenting data, techniques for effective presentations, and number 4, common mistakes. Okay, so a range of issues, vocabulary, and expressions to explore within our conference today. We recommend you take notes throughout the presentation so you can check the techniques later on. Similarly, you can take a screenshot of every page you wish. Also, I will be happy to email students the PDF format later, but we'll come to that later on. Okay. So our introduction today: data presentation is the art of transforming raw data into a visual format that's easy to understand and interpret. So data presentation is the art of transforming raw data into a visual format that's easy to understand and interpret. There are 3 main types of presentation methods, each with its own unique strengths and applications. So there are 3 main types of presentation methods, each with its own unique strengths and applications. Well, let's have a look at these 3 main types of presentation methods. Number 1, textual presentation. A textual presentation displays the power of words and sentences to contextualize your data. So number 1, textual presentation. A textual presentation displays the power of words and sentences to contextualize your data. The second main type of presentation is a tabular presentation. Tabular presentation employs tables to arrange and structure your data systematically. Number 2, tabular presentation. Tabular presentation employs tables to arrange and structure your data systematically. Number 3, our third type of presentation, the graphical presentation. Graphical presentation harnesses the visual impact of charts and graphs to breathe life into your data. A graphical presentation harnesses the visual impact of charts and graphs to breathe life into your data. Tool of communication. Okay, so whether you're an experienced presenter or just starting, this guide will help you to present your data in English like a pro. Whether you're an experienced presenter or just starting, this guide will help you present your data in English like a pro. So let's have a look at presenting data. As we said before, data presentation is the art of turning numbers and statistics into a captivating story that your audience can quickly understand. Data presentation is the art of turning numbers and statistics into a captivating story that your audience can quickly understand. Imagine drowning in a sea of numbers and figures. That's how your audience might feel without proper data presentation. Here's why it's essential. Here's why it's essential. Number 1, clarity. Data presentations make complex information clear and concise. Number 1, data presentations make complex information clear and concise. Number 2, engagement. Charts and graphs grab your audience's attention. Number 2, engagement. Charts and graphs grab your audience's attention. And number 3, comprehension. Visual data is easy to understand than long numerical reports. Comprehension. Visual data is easier to understand than long numerical reports. Okay, well, number 1, the 90% forgetting rule. Okay, so number 1, the reality is we forget 90% of what we're told within a week of hearing it. With data, our short-term memory can hold a set of about 7 digits at any given time. But unless you can commit that information to your long-term memory, you'll forget it. A great tip is to start with the end of the presentation. A great tip is to start with the end of a presentation and write a 2 to 3 sentence summary of your presentation conclusion and recommendation before you start thinking about the slide content. This is effectively your elevator pitch, which will help you to focus your presentation message and the data that supports this. So a great tip is to start with the end and write a 2 to 3 sentence summary of your presentation conclusion and recommendation before you start thinking about the slide content. This is effectively your elevator pitch, which will help you to focus your presentation message and the data that supports this. Okay, number 2. 3 is the magic number. 3 is the magic number. 3 is the smallest number with the most complexity. This is the reason why you hear so many consultants, politicians, and senior business people providing 3 points to answer a question or to make their case. Look around and you'll see the use of 3 everywhere. For example, stay home, protect the NHS, save lives. Being a prime example, this was an official UK government COVID message. Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives. 3 is the magic number. Therefore, try and structure your presentation into 3 logical sections if you can. Remember, 3 is the magic number. Okay, now our third tip is to bring the data to life. 37 and 41 are not very interesting numbers. But if you're talking about body temperature, 41 degrees Celsius is a very significant number as you have a really high fever and you may be on the way to the hospital. Okay, so on their own, numbers are not very interesting. But if we put the number into context and bring the number to life, it is more interesting. So try to bring the data to life. By explaining the background to the important data or its impact helps to bring a number to life. The audience listens to your story, then begins to visualize what you're talking about. Creating mental images starts to move the information from the short-term to the long-term memory. So the audience listens to your story, then begins to visualize what you're talking about, creating mental images. And this starts to move the information from the short-term memory to the long-term memory. Well, let's have a look at some techniques for effective presentations. So choose a communication style. Number 1, tell stories with data. Illustrating solutions to existing and potential business problems. So tell stories with data. Illustrating solutions to existing and potential business problems. Number 2, use personas. Demonstrating how your data findings impact real people. Number 2, use personas. Demonstrating how your data findings impact real people. Number 3, present data more conventionally and simply. Explaining what different figures and statistics mean in the business content. So number 3, present data more conventionally and simply. Explaining what different figures and statistics mean in a business context. Okay, number 2 here is all about methods. Okay, so common graphical presentation methods. Okay, we're going to highlight 4 graphical presentation methods. Number 1, bar charts. They are ideal for comparing different categories of data. So bar charts are ideal for comparing different categories of data. Number 2, pie charts. Each category of a pie chart is depicted as the slice of a pie. Pie charts. Each category of a pie chart is depicted as the slice of a pie. Number 3, line graphs. They are the go-to choice when showcasing how data evolves over time. Line graphs showcase how data evolves over time. And number 4, scatter plots. They are the tool of choice when exploring the relationship between 2 variables. Okay, guys, well, we're going to have a look at an exercise. Okay, so this is a chat exercise, everybody. We'd like you to choose the correct chart or graph for each type. Bar chart, pie chart, line graph, or scatter plot. So we have 4 contextual situations. Number 1, comparing monthly sales performance across different stores. So comparing monthly sales performance across different stores. Does this use a bar chart, a pie chart, a line graph, or a scatter plot? If you wish to participate, you can put your answers into the chat. Number 2, tracking a company's revenue growth over the last 10 years. And number 3, comparing the productivity levels of employees in different departments. Number 4, showing the breakdown of categories of a company's annual expenses. Okay, so there are 4 different situations there, and Christoph has already put in his ideas, his answers, also some more coming in now. So I'll read through these again to give others a moment or two extra to put their answers into the chat, and then I shall reveal the answers. So number 1, comparing monthly sales performance across different stores. Number 2, tracking a company's revenue growth over the last 10 years. Number 3, comparing the productivity levels of employees in different departments. Number 4, showing the breakdown of categories of a company's annual expenses. Okay, well, let's have a look at the optimal method. Okay, so answers. Number 1, a bar chart. So comparing monthly sales performance across different stores. Comparing. Bar charts are used to compare. Number 2 is a line graph, tracking a company's revenue over the last 10 years. So 10 years is a period of time. Therefore, a line graph is our optimal presentation method. Number 4, comparing the productivity levels of employees in different departments. Again, comparing. We can use bar charts to compare. And number 4, showing the breakdown of categories of a company's annual expenses. Categories can be illustrated with a pie chart. Therefore, number 4, we chose a pie chart. Okay, guys, well, there we go. Very well done. Hello there. So welcome to the lesson if you've just joined us. Just having a look at some methods here of data presentation in a visual way. Okay, well, let's continue. We have a little bit more to look at in today's lesson. So our third tip here is to practice your delivery. Practice your delivery. Practice makes perfect. Rehearse your presentation multiple times before the actual delivery. Well, let's review now some common mistakes that are made in presentations. Storytelling with data is much more powerful than creating a PowerPoint deck with talking points. Storytelling with data is much more powerful than creating a PowerPoint deck with talking points. Let's check some common mistakes. Number 1, visualizations shown in the slides were not referenced. Visualizations shown in the slides were not referenced. Charts and graphs are included, but no explicit references were made to them. This is a common mistake. Number 2, no story or narrative. The presentation was delivered as a report. This is a common mistake. Number 3, lack of audience engagement. They did not include opportunities for audience interaction, questions, or dialogue. This is a common mistake. Number 4, little or no audience eye contact. Presenters look past the audience or down at their notes. This is a common mistake. Number 5, over the time limit. They did not complete their presentation within the time allotted. This, you've guessed it, is a common mistake. Number 6, too much information. The presenters provided too much information. The guideline is 6 words per line and no more than 6 lines of text. So too much information is, you've guessed it, a common mistake. Well guys, we're coming towards the end of our presentation on presentations today. So in effective data presentations, choosing the right chart type enhances clarity and impact, ensuring the audience quickly grasps key insights. Engaging visuals and clear explanations make complex data more accessible and persuasive. By combining well-structured visuals with confident delivery, presenters can maximize audience engagement and drive meaningful decisions. There we are. That is our conclusion. So everybody, I would like to thank you all on mine and Cercle de Langues' behalf for your attendance and participation in today's conference lesson. We certainly hope that you enjoyed it, and I certainly hope to see you back here again next Monday. But for now, it's time to say goodbye. Bye-bye.